At 7, taking a look outside this morning right now, cold and quiet. A big winter storm is moving closer to Chicago. Tracy is watching it closely this morning.
From the city to the suburbs, we've expanded the winter storm prep team coverage.
Plus, breaking news overnight, one person was shot and killed inside of a Southside barber shop. More on that on the way. The news at 7 starts now.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Hey everybody, good morning on a Wednesday. I'm Terrell Brown.
And I'm Tanya Babich in for Val Warner on this 21st day of December, the first day of the winter season. Let's look outside right now. It is cold to start your day. Temperatures in the teens, but at least all is calm for now. Won't last very long though. Let's go to Tracy for the forecast.
Absolutely not. Winter officially arrives on our calendars later this afternoon, right around 3:48. But the challenging winter conditions really begin in the area tomorrow. So difficult travel is going to begin most likely tomorrow afternoon and continue into the day on Friday. The biggest concern will be the strong gusty winds and the impact that those winds have with blowing snow, possible power outages, and really the extreme cold. So really open roads prone to blowing and drifting snow are going to be problematic. Could even be tough to measure this stuff too. But there you see it coming in tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and evening commute, I think is going to be a mess. And we're going to talk much more about all of that in my next report. Jeremy Scott, what do you have to talk about?
Well, Tracy, new crash in Grays Lake, Shorewood and Route 83. And as you mentioned, it's going to be a mess out there tomorrow. But if you do have to travel, I'll talk more about the what you need to pack later on in the show. Chopper 7 HD is over the junction, the Edens County Junction. As you see, everybody's headed to the airport to get out of Dodge in time. The Stevenson around Cicero headed to Midway is also a mess too, Tanya and Terrell.
All righty, Jeremy, and we'll check back in a little bit. Thank you. A winter storm, Jeremy just mentioned this, of course, Tracy too, is taking aim on the Chicago area. It is on the way right now, packing heavy snow, high winds, and frigid temperatures. Area road crews are taking advantage of the early warning and prepping to keep roads clear. Snow plows and salt trucks are ready to go.
Several inches of snow are expected to blanket our area starting tomorrow. Jessica D'Onofrio is live at the Office of Emergency Management with how the city of Chicago is preparing for the snowfall. Jessica.
Well, Chicago is getting ready for the winter storm, Tanya and Terrell. This morning, a news conference is planned here at OEMC headquarters. City leaders are set to talk about storm preparations. Now, meanwhile, ComEd is gearing up, adding to its staffing later this week. Hundreds of contractors and crews from other utilities will be here in order to respond quickly to potential power outages. And here in Chicago, people have been stocking up on provisions at bustling grocery stores, which are likely to get busier today.
Thursday I won't be here. I'm sure it'll be a madhouse. People will be rushing. They're probably just getting off of work for the weekend. So they're going to be shopping, trying to get everything they can for the whole weekend.
Last-minute shoppers who placed holiday gift orders online have also been flocking to stores, unable to wait any longer. Some of them out buying backup gifts in case their orders don't arrive.
Are you confident your packages are going to arrive Thursday, Friday?
Definitely not. No, that's definitely going to throw a wrench in the plans.
So you're out here?
Yep.
Now back here live, city leaders plan to talk at that news conference at 11 a.m. The National Weather Service will be there, along with ComEd and aviation officials. Back to you.
Well, that, Jessica, is the report from the city. Let's go to the suburbs now, where crews are preparing for the worst all over the area.
Yep, Diane Pathew is live in Elk Grove Village with the preparations that are going on in that area. Diane.
And Tanya and Terrell, we got a look at those preparations yesterday when we checked in here in Elk Grove Village, and they were already knee-deep in getting ready for what's to come. Crews loading up the tanks of the salt trucks with beet juice here in Elk Grove Village, which combines with the salt to clear their roads.
Pretty much everybody can outsource everything else, but the one thing they can't outsource is snow and snow operations. So this is what our guys live for, and they look forward to it all year long.
Over in Algonquin, Public Works directors were also closely following the forecast, taking part in a Zoom session with the National Weather Service over in the south suburbs. Trucks in Oak Forest have plows attached. Also, they are getting loaded with salt. And the good news is we checked in with variety of villages and towns and northwest suburbs, south suburbs as well. This is really the first major snow event. So because of that, there is plenty of salt to tackle the roads. Tanya and Terrell, back to you.
Diane, thank you. Nearly 3 million people are expected to travel through O'Hare and Midway over the next several days. O'Hare says tomorrow was supposed to be the busiest travel day, but passengers, as you can imagine, are canceling or changing their plans, hoping to get around the bad weather. Well, today Metra is expected to post a modified schedule for Friday. There are no details yet, but we know trains won't operate on their normal weekday schedule.
As of now, Chicago Public Schools plans to have classes tomorrow. That, of course, could change. The district has canceled all after-school activities for Thursday because of the weather. There's no school Friday because of winter break.
Stay with ABC 7 as the storm gets closer. You can find the latest and track the timing of the storm on our website and news app. Tracy will have the forecast coming up for you in just a few minutes.
This was breaking overnight. A deadly shooting at a barbershop in the city's Auburn Gresham neighborhood. Chicago police say a man wearing a ski mask walked into House of Styles. It's at 80th and Halstead just before midnight. The man fired several shots at the victim. The victim died at the hospital. No one is in custody.
Search teams
have recovered the body of a missing Northwestern University doctoral student.
Can you head over to 2430 North Cannon? They're requesting the sergeant on scene. They think they found the body of the missing student.
That call came out from Chicago police yesterday. First responders pulled 25-year-old Peter Salvino's body from Diversey Harbor. Salvino was last heard from early Sunday morning while walking home from a party. There's no word right now on his cause of death.
In Washington today, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to address a joint session of Congress after a bilateral meeting with President Biden at the White House. The trip is believed to be Zelensky's first out of his country since the Russian assault on Ukraine began earlier this year. ABC's Faith Abube is live in Washington with the latest. Faith.
Good morning to you, Tanya. White House sources tell ABC News President Zelensky will not only get a chance to meet with President Biden, but he'll also sit down with members of his cabinet and national security team before heading to the Capitol this evening.
This morning, the White House preparing to welcome Ukraine's President Zelensky to the U.S. for what senior administration officials described as an in-depth strategic discussion. The Biden administration eager to underscore its commitment to the Eastern European nation and provide Zelensky an opportunity to meet with President Biden, key members of his cabinet and national security team. In a recent exclusive interview with ABC News, Zelensky saying this about a potential visit.
And I have a lot of things what to say and what to do. We have to discuss very important things for our country's security measures for Ukraine, future security things.
Sources tell ABC News President Biden will mark Zelensky's visit with an announcement of a significant new package for Ukraine, nearly $2 billion in security assistance, including Patriot missile batteries that Ukraine has been requesting to fend off the Russian invasion.
It will go a long way to plug those gaps in the Ukrainian air defense.
Ongoing Russian missile strikes on critical Ukrainian infrastructure like the power grid have left millions of residents in the dark and with no heat as temperatures dip below freezing. President Zelensky seen on the front lines visiting with his troops, holding a moment of silence for the lives lost. The Ukrainian president's surprise visit to the U.S., his first since Russia began its unprovoked war 300 days ago. It comes as Congress considers $45 billion more in emergency aid for the country. Zelensky confirming on Twitter he plans to address a joint session of Congress.
And the White House hopes this visit with Zelensky sends a strong message to Putin that the U.S. is in for the long haul when it comes to its support for Ukraine. Terrell, Tanya, back to you.
Faith Abube in Washington this morning. Faith, thank you. The pandemic-era immigration restrictions known as Title 42 remains in force this morning. The Trump-era policy prevents asylum seekers from entering the U.S. It was scheduled to end today. It was put in place on the grounds that it would help prevent the spread of COVID. The Biden administration has asked the Supreme Court to reject a bid by 19 states to keep Title 42 in effect. The plea from the White House comes a day after Chief Justice John Roberts issued a temporary order to keep Title 42 in place.
We will soon get a look at some of former President Donald Trump's tax returns. The House Ways and Means Committee voted to release 6 years of those documents. The vote was along party lines. The committee says the IRS failed to audit Trump's taxes during his presidency despite a mandatory audit program. The former president fought for years to keep his finances private during his run for the White House and when he was in office. There will be 2 days to redact sensitive information before anything is made public.
Today, there will be a ceremonial bell ringing for a fallen Chicago firefighter. Family members and former colleagues will get together to remember Mashawn Plummer. Plummer passed away 1 year ago today. He was battling a fire earlier in the month in the Belmont Central neighborhood. Plummer's 30 years old. He'd only been on the job for a year before his death. Today's ceremony begins at 8 a.m. at Engine Company 94 on West Grace.
Your live and local news is just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. And coming up, a pre-holiday storm is expected to blow in with high winds and bitter cold temperatures this week.
Tracy's timing it all out with the AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
Ticket fiasco. Fans left scrambling to snag Taylor Swift tickets.
It's super frustrating and all disappointing.
The high demand has turned the ticket buying process into chaos.
I feel like they could have handled it better.
Coming up next.
Good morning to you. It is a very cold start to our morning out there across much of the area, especially from the city west and north. But let's talk a little more about this storm coming our way. I think our totals around the area are going to range from 2 to 6 inches of accumulating snow. Most all of the accumulation takes place tomorrow. We could see some higher totals, however, continue into Friday, especially over in that Michiana corridor. My big concern for tomorrow and Friday, the impact of very strong wind gusts resulting in poor visibility. And then we just get the temperatures alone that are going to be brutally cold. Take a look at what happens tomorrow. So tomorrow at this time, we're still probably talking about temperatures in the 30s. But then, especially through the afternoon, snow continues to evolve. Temperatures plummet, and I can get concerned when we have such rapidly falling temperatures below freezing, and it can lead to what we call flash freeze, where things ice up very, very quickly. Add to all of that, you can see the wind speeds that are going to be increasing tomorrow as well as on Friday. So winter storm watch still going into effect various times during the day here tomorrow. How about for your morning commute this morning, Jeremy?
Well, Tracy, it's lighter than what we normally see. Most of our delays I'm watching seem to be headed to the airport or from the airport, especially on the Kennedy and the Stevenson. Do want to let you know, though, that if you are traveling through Hawthorne Woods, there is a crash at Old McHenry and Midlothian Road. Now, this is something that we've been following all throughout the morning. This is some tips to make sure that your car is ready in case you should have to go out tomorrow. Obviously, travel's not going to be recommended, but check that car. Make sure you have a winter kit inside your car, but also make sure you check the air pressure in your tires, your vital fluids like your motor oil, your coolant, your windshield washer fluid. And speaking of the windshield washer fluid, check those wiper blades as well. And head to any auto parts store to make sure your battery is up to snuff for these cold temperatures, because the colder it gets, the harder that your battery has to work. And Terrell, that's one of the things that's very overlooked is people just don't get a chance to check their battery.
Really good information to have, Jeremy. Appreciate it. Thank you. Now at 7, Ticketmaster troubles. A local congresswoman is leading the way to get more answers from Ticketmaster about the Taylor Swift ticket fiasco. Many fans are now left scrambling and faced with paying several thousands of dollars for tickets. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles is getting answers from Ticketmaster this morning. Jason.
Despite problems, Ticketmaster says the vast majority of those Taylor Swift tickets were sold to verified fans, not bots. However, a local congresswoman wants Ticketmaster to come into Congress. This as many fans are faced with paying third parties sky-high prices.
I've played her music in the hospital during procedures.
Sabi Beg is one of Taylor Swift's biggest fans. Beg, who lives with a rare muscular dystrophy disorder, met Swift on her Reputation tour. Beg and her mom tried to get ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, seating in Chicago for the latest Eras tour. Beg is hoping to hear Swift's new hit, Antihero. Beg says she tried to buy seats through Ticketmaster's Verified Fans program for $299.
I was in the queue for 5 hours.
She had no luck. Then Ticketmaster's site crashed. She tried the next day as a qualified Capital One member and
I had them in my cart and they were ripped away from me.
Beg, her family, and her caregiver are searching on third-party sites and only finding ADA seats with high price tags. Sky-high prices?
Yes, they're $2,415, $1,973.
No matter what kind of seat you're looking for, third-party sites could be charging several $1,000s for Taylor Swift tickets. Beg showed the I-Team posts where people say they accidentally purchased ADA seats and now they want to sell them. Others are scalpers who obtain the tickets. Ticketmaster tries to prevent people from fraudulently purchasing ADA seats by asking buyers to agree to these terms and conditions.
It's super frustrating, disappointing because we just don't know what to do.
But why is this so upsetting for you?
Because I've loved seeing her live. Her music brings me joy.
There is no joy from 9th District U.S. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky when it comes to Ticketmaster.
Very few companies that deal with these tickets.
She wants Ticketmaster to improve its sales process for future events.
We want a complete explanation of the problems that we have had. So we are calling them in.
Schakowsky is chair of the Consumer Protection and Commerce Subcommittee of the Energy and Commerce Committee. She and a bipartisan group of congressional leaders sent this letter to Ticketmaster asking them to come in for a briefing and give a full explanation of its sales process. The letter claims that during the Taylor Swift Eras tour sale, millions of fans endured delays, lockouts, and competition with aggressive scammers, scalpers, and bots, adding that it raises concerns over the potential unfair and deceptive practices that face consumers and event goers.
I think in many ways, consumers are really held hostage.
On its website, Ticketmaster says a new record of fans were seeking tickets and claims that less than 5% of the tickets for the Eras tour have been sold or posted for resale on the secondary market. Ticketmaster adds that its Verified Fans program eventually did get tickets into the hands of real fans, not bots. However, Congress questions Ticketmaster's bot management, saying the company's own website admits that even though 3.5 million people were pre-registered as verified fans, there were another 3.5 billion requests from bots or people who didn't have codes.
I feel like they could have handled it better and not done so many pre-sales at once.
Ticketmaster says demand is so high, Taylor Swift would need to perform a stadium show every night for the next 2.5 years. Ticketmaster also says some verified fans will now get invitations to have another chance at getting tickets before Thursday. Schakowsky's spokesperson says Ticketmaster has agreed to come into Congress for that briefing, but no date is set. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Remember the good old days when you just had to set a timer and log on at exactly the right moment and you'd still walk away with tickets? No worries about bots or sellouts or lockouts. Thanks so much, Jason.
We'll be right back.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Today, the city of Gary will honor 2 longtime public safety employees. Mayor Jerome Prince will recognize Fire Division Chief Calvin Bankhead. Bankhead has been working for the department for 45 years. Prince will also honor Police Lieutenant Reginald Harris. He started on the force back in 1985. This morning's ceremony is at City Hall at 11 o'clock. It will be live streamed on Facebook.
Now to a holiday shopping celebration for young hospital patients. It's making Chicago proud this morning. Families of patients at Lurie Children's Hospital got the chance to shop for free toys yesterday. It's part of the hospital's annual Winter Wonderland event. The donated toys make the holidays a little bit brighter for families that are going through a tough time.
All right, hang on with us. We're going to connect with everybody that's watching Good Morning America right now.
I'm going to have a news update for you on TV in just a little bit, and you'll see it here as well.
And when we come back this morning, how you can be part of Countdown Chicago, the New Year's Eve celebration right here on ABC 7 this year.
Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning at 7:23. I'm Tanya Babich. Officials from Chicago's Office of Emergency Management will lay out safety plans today in advance of tomorrow's winter storm. Meanwhile, ComEd is gearing up by adding staffing and positioning people and equipment. The moves are being made to quickly respond to potential power outages. Grocery stores are crowded as Chicagoans stock up on essentials for the holiday weekend, and last-minute shoppers are expected to descend on Michigan Avenue today. They are buying up gifts in the event of a storm-related delivery issue. Let's get a check of the ABC 7 AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Tracy Butler.
And power outages are going to be a concern with strengthening wind gusts. Right now, we have cold temperatures. Take a look. 7 in Hampshire, 12 out at O'Hare, 27 in Whiting, and 24 degrees right now in Bradley. Today, those temperatures will work their way up, probably around freezing. Tomorrow, however, take a look at what happens around the area. These temperatures are going to be dropping through the day tomorrow, and snow is going to be moving in. So I actually think tomorrow morning's commute should be okay. Tomorrow afternoon, evening rush looks to be hampered by falling snow and falling temperatures. We'll take a break, Jeremy, with traffic after this.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Well, good morning as you are traveling out and about. For the most part, if you're west of the tri-state, you're looking pretty good. East of the tri-state, though, you are seeing delays, especially if you are headed to Midway or O'Hare. The Eisenhower slow in both directions. Take a look at the Dan Ryan headed into downtown. Little slow pocket in the express local lanes merge. And keep in mind, if you are headed out and about, shopping centers will be a little bit busier as everybody's trying to prep not only for the holiday, but for the upcoming winter storm.
Welcome back, everybody. 7:27 on a, what day is it?
Wednesday.
Oh, hump day.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a hump, all right. New Year's Eve, though, is around the corner, and we're going to be counting down to midnight all across Chicago, and this is invariably our favorite part. Terrell and Cheryl's dance every year. And this year, we want to see your moves. Scan the QR code on your screen to please send us your best dance video. It could be a part of this year's Countdown Chicago New Year's Eve celebration, or you can head to abc7chicago.com to upload your video. What a wonderful idea.
It is cool. It is cool. And yeah, we want to see your videos. We want to see your moves. If you're watching right now and it's something that you like to check out, scan that QR code, send us your video, and you might see yourself on TV on the big show, New Year's Eve.
For Sherelle and Terrell.
For hashtag Sherelle. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of New Year's Eve, Dick Clark's primetime New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest 2023. 7 p.m. on ABC7. Then our news that night, a little different. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Early news. Yeah. More coverage from New York follows at 9:30. Then we're back at it 11:25. Countdown Chicago. You don't want to miss it to ring in the new year. And then we'll head back to New York for the party that continues after that at about 12:10. So we got you covered all night.
Yeah, basically just stay tuned.
Yep.
The entire time. Don't change the channel. Coming up after 7:30, we speak live with a Chicago realtor who is helping us to understand the current housing market.
And we are going back in history, talking about a special anniversary for the song Gangnam Style.
Oppa Gangnam Style.
Yeah, it's coming up next.
Oppa Gangnam Style.
You're watching ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
Let's take a quick look at some of the stories we'll be watching for you today. A hearing on the future of the only hospital in Hammond, Indiana. The city is asking for a preliminary injunction to block Franciscan Health from closing the emergency room at its Hammond location at the end of the year. Hammond's mayor says Franciscan is abandoning the poor in favor of wealthier patients in its remaining Indiana campuses. Franciscan says the closure is financially necessary and that there are 3 other hospitals just a few miles away.
A ceremonial bell ringing for a fallen Chicago firefighter. Family members and former colleagues will get together to remember Mashawn Plummer. Plummer passed away 1 year ago today. He was battling a fire earlier in the month in the Belmont Central neighborhood. The 30-year-old had only been on the job for a year before his death. Today's ceremony starts at 8 o'clock at Engine Company 94 on West Grace.
Today marks the winter solstice, the first day of winter. So the bad news, we get just under 9 hours and 7 minutes of sun today. It is the shortest day of the year in the northern hemisphere because the Earth is tilted farthest from the sun. Well, the good news, daylight will gradually increase every single day until the summer solstice on June 21st.
Nice.
It's all uphill from here.
Yep.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Tanya Babbage.
And good to be with you. I'm Terrell Brown. Let's go outside, see how we're looking now. So we do have daylight now. A little bit of sunshine out there this morning. 12 degrees. It's still cold, Tracy. And all the talk is all about the winter storm on the way.
Yeah, it really is. And the impact from this storm, and I think difficult and challenging travel conditions are going to begin around here for tomorrow afternoon, evening rush, and challenging travel conditions into the day on Friday, too. What's going to make this what's going to make this most difficult? The wind. That's what I'm trying to say. Blowing snow, maybe power outages. Add to that the extreme cold that is going to be a problem too. So I think by the noon hour tomorrow, snow is beginning here in the city. It's light, but it is going to intensify as we go through the afternoon tomorrow. I think accumulating snow, we're actually done with this, probably around the midnight hour here tomorrow night. Well, right now it is cold. Know before you head out the door this morning what the temperatures are, because you are going to be dealing with that right now. What are folks dealing with on the roads this morning, Jeremy Scott?
Well, Tracy, the past couple mornings, we were dealing with a lot of crashes, a lot of incidents. Now it's just delays. But I will say, in the next report, we're going to talk about how to get your car prepared because people go out. It is what it is. But, obviously travel is not advised. But with these bitterly cold temperatures, you really want to make sure your car's prepared. All right, you see delays? Everything east of the tri-state, that's where you're seeing slowdowns. If you're headed to either O'Hare or Midway, also allot yourself some extra time. Now, let's take a look at I-90 eastbound just before Gulf Road. There is a stall in the left center lane, and we're able to take a look at it with the tollway cameras, and we'll see the stall's actually been moved off to the ramp. So that's some good news there. And there's I-90, the Jane Addams right around Route 53, both looking pretty good, but expect there to be additional delays around Woodfield later today. Tanya and Terrell.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. All right, let's get to it. Here's what we're talking about today.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style. Hey, sexy lady.
I cannot believe it has been 10 years.
A decade.
Yeah, for this Korean pop sensation, Psy made YouTube history when he put it out there too. Became the first to have a video to break 1 billion views with this mega hit Gangnam Style. And of course, who could forget the invisible house dance?
Is that what it was
Is
called?
that what I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
Did we just make that up?
I don't know.
Oh, there it is. An invisible house dance, yeah.
So Twinkle Toes, can you do it?
I cannot.
You can't?
No, I can't.
You want to
do
try?
it. No. Can you?
No, of course. I can't. I can barely walk.
No, I can't. It's always
It's
the
fun
easy,
to try, though.
It's always the
after a couple
easiest
drinks.
moves are always the hardest to do, I think.
Right?
Yeah, I cannot figure that one out. Tracy?
Oh, no, count me out. On that one. Are you kidding me? I got one move and that's it. And I think
The
you've all
choo-choo
seen it.
train.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love your choo-choo train.
That's my signature move. Wow.
Is
Was that Madonna?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's doing it too.
She got. Ooh.
What
hello.
is it?
Is this a lesson?
It's
Live lesson.
Has he
on
done anything
CNN.
since?
I don't think so. I mean, he had other songs, but
I mean, he's been in the New York Times crossword puzzle. I know that much.
Wow.
It's fun though.
Okay.
Have we had anything like it since? I mean, there have been viral videos like Despacito, you know.
Yeah.
Terrell and Cheryl.
Terrell and Cheryl, that's the other one. Baby, you gonna beat Psy?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what you have this year.
Yeah, well, more to come on that. We'll actually talk about it tomorrow. I'll tell you guys a little bit more.
Good tease.
Want to get to one father's elaborate ploy to trick his children for Christmas.
Yeah, it's gone viral. In the post, the father had a neatly wrapped Christmas gift and then he throws it into the woodlit stove after one of his kids misbehaves. We're going to bleep out one of the words here that he uses in the TikTok video. The gift is actually empty. It's a pretend present. Some people out there think this is mean. I mean, I just think it's wasteful. If you're going to threaten your child to give away their gifts to other children who are better behaved.
No, that ain't gonna happen. Oh my gosh. Man, I mean, I've definitely threatened my kids with no gifts.
Right,
and I'm sure it works too. Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, we would act up and gifts would just disappear from under the tree, just one after another, slowly. Really? Yeah, be like, well, where did that go?
You kept inventory too. You counted everyone under the tree.
And shaking the box and all that.
My daughter was just telling me that about that. She goes, Mom, did you ever shake the box when you were a kid? I'm like, no. She's like, yeah, I tried, and you can't really tell what's in there.
Right. So yeah, what about you, Tris?
Oh, I absolutely loathe this, and I wonder what this gentleman's motivation was. Is it to go viral?
Probably.
Because that is what really upsets me more than anything about this. Come on.
Yeah,
really?
I get it.
Yeah.
It's mean. It's mean-spirited.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it.
I did love when I was a kid, though, when so you would have the gifts under the tree, you would know what's there, and then Christmas morning you'd see all the new stuff when Santa would deliver like a bike or all these other presents that showed up out of nowhere. You're like, wait a minute!
Thank you, Santa, for that.
Yeah, yep, nice to have the hookup.
Your Santa has better planning skills than mine. Mine just puts it all under there when he's able.
Yeah, and it is what it is.
Exactly.
Right? All right, so let's get a break in here when we come back. Of course, more. We actually got a big interview coming up. If you're thinking about buying or selling a house right now, you won't want to miss this. Yeah, stream it out loud. We're back with more news in 90 seconds.
Well, good morning to you. So this morning, it's calm, it's quiet, it's cold though. Now tomorrow, here's what I want you to know. The bulk of the snow that's coming our way falls tomorrow. 2 to 6 inches of accumulation, most likely higher totals you get over into that bend, that Michiana corridor. The problem is going to be, and while this is not a major snowstorm, the problem is it's a major winter storm because of the potential for these very strong wind gusts resulting in poor visibility. Plus we have these crashing temperatures, and it is going to be very cold here Friday and really through the weekend. Take a look at what happens tomorrow. Snow, chances increase through the afternoon. Temperatures just crash tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. Wind speeds are going to be picking up. We will have wind chills in the area here coming our way. 25, 35 below zero. Friday, just really strong wind gusts through the day today, or through the day Friday. So the winter storm watch still poised to go in effect tomorrow during the day. The leading onset of some of these flurries, snow showers, could be overnight tonight, but I think it really starts to ramp up more so as we go through the afternoon and evening here tomorrow. Jeremy?
Tracy, we're seeing delays east of the Tri-State on the Kennedy, Eisenhower, and the Stevenson. Also, on your Southside Expressways, you are seeing delays on 57 near the Bishop Ford inbound, leads you on to the Dan Ryan. Let's talk about what you need to do to check your car. Make sure those air pressures are set to the normal level, and you can find that in the door jamb. That's where the manufacturer's recommended settings are. Also, check your vital fluids, motor oil, windshield washer fluid, and coolant. Check those wiper blades. Make sure that they're not cracking or streaking at all. And also go to an auto parts store, have them check the battery. Make sure that your battery is healthy enough for these impending colder temperatures coming in. Now, some other good news. There will be no additional road closures starting at 3 p.m. on Friday. And with the weather coming, I expect that to be earlier, though, through Monday at midnight for construction. Tanya and Terrell.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. A recent Realtor.com survey asks if the housing market is in a bubble. And how does today's housing market compare with the Great Recession? Tony Matar, realtor and founder of the Chicago Crib team at Compass, is here to help answer some of those questions. Tony, it's good to see you. Good morning.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Really nice to have you. So I got to ask you what a lot of people are asking right now. Should we buy or should we wait? What do you think the answer is right now?
That's the $1 million question that everybody's asking. And I think the answer really depends on who you are, right? So if you're already a homeowner and you're happy in your home and, you have a rate in the high twos, maybe you do want to wait for the rates to come back down, as, everybody's talking about those rates these years. But on the flip side of that, we've got a tremendous amount of renters here in Chicago and nationwide. And, the interest that you pay on your rent is 100%. So despite any market conditions or higher interest rates than maybe your friends got 12 months ago, it can still be a great time to start building equity and building wealth through real estate.
For somebody that's looking to buy, are there a lot of homes out there? Is there a lot of inventory in the market right now?
So overall, we're still in a relatively low inventory environment, which is keeping the prices more stable and they're not coming crashing down. However, what I have seen over the last 6 months or so, ever since those interest rates started kind of climbing, is that buyers do have more leverage when it comes to negotiation because a lot of would-be home owners went into the rental market and decided to continue on that way.
What are prices looking like right now?
Yeah, so prices, I'm sure all of the viewers at home have seen price reductions on listings on Redfin or Zillow or Compass.com. However, overall prices are up 11% year over year nationwide, which is still showing that the housing market is doing, relatively well. They're anticipated to continue to increase, but at a slower rate next year. So the National Association of Realtors predicts a 5.4% increase in prices in 2023.
So even if you find a place that you like, and you think you want to buy it, mortgage rates are still high right now. How do you navigate that? What do we do?
Yeah, so everything's relative. And when it comes to the mortgage rates, the good news is that they already have come down a little bit from the peak that we kind of saw over that 7%. So right now we're sitting kind of in the low to mid sixes, which is good news. And there's also become some untraditional ways for people to sort of insulate their monthly payment. So a lot of mortgage brokers are doing programs that are called 3-1-2 buy down or 3-2-1 buy downs, or 2-1 buy downs. So what that does is you do a temporary rate buy down at the beginning of the life of your loan in anticipation that you're hopefully going to be able to refinance before your monthly payment creeps back up.
Got it. And looking at where we are now and what's going on with the market compared to the Great Recession, what's the difference, you think?
So the National Association of Realtors, again, released a ton of great data on this comparison. And when we look at the current market compared to the Great Recession, we're doing a lot better today. So the job market's a lot stronger. There's virtually no foreclosures out there, a very, very small percentage. And, new construction isn't at a glut like it was before the Great Recession. So there's a lot of factors that are telling us that we're going to be much more stabilized and insulated from any slashes in prices in the, coming months and years.
And speaking of the coming months and years, for anybody that's thinking about buying a place and really getting serious about it, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to meet with a realtor as soon as they possibly can. You know, it always helps to kind of learn about your micro market. And even within Chicago, you know, I'm speaking with broad strokes right now, but, you know, the market segment that someone's looking in, whether that's for a single family home or a condo or the different neighborhoods, you need to dive deep into that local micro market and get the data that you need to be able to navigate the market successfully.
All right. Got it, Tony. Great advice. I got to ask before I let you go, where are you right now? Are you at home?
Yeah, I'm at my condo. I live in the Loop.
Man, that's a nice place. The Christmas tree behind you is beautiful.
You expected less.
Right.
Thank you.
It is decked out. Nicely done, my man. Good to talk to you. Tony Matar, realtor and founder of the Crib Team at Compass. Tony, appreciate your time.
Yep.
All right, have a good one. And then after the show, of course, we'll post this interview and other real estate resources on our website, abc7chicago.com. It was a fly pad that he had there.
The man knows his business.
He does, right? Got good taste. We're back with more in 90 seconds.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Welcome back, everybody. Today is the first official day of winter. And as the saying goes, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, and for many people these days, it's also some of the coldest, like what Tracy's tracking for the next few days. So better put on the warmer coat and maybe even a sweater.
Maybe one of those, shall we say, fashionable Christmas sweaters? They're a big deal, as ABC's Will Gans explains this morning.
Ugly Christmas sweaters got their start in the 50s thanks to Christmas crooners like Andy Williams.
He'll have a big fat pack upon his back.
But now, 70 years later, ugly sweaters are bigger than ever. Literally.
Let me put it to you this way. If the Statue of Liberty was feeling extra festive this year, she could wear this sweater and it would fit her perfectly. It's 30 feet tall, 70 feet wide, which is about the same size as 4 city buses.
The world's largest ugly Christmas sweater now on display in San Diego.
We've got 400 pounds of fabric here. If you unraveled the whole thing, you'd have 20 miles worth of yarn.
It's 250 times bigger than a normal sweater, which is apparently a good-sized dance floor. But the real question is why?
I've been eating a lot of extra Christmas cookies this year, so I asked my friends at Tipsy Elves to kind of make an extra big sweater for me, and they over-delivered.
Well, that's only half true.
They are celebrating the 10th anniversary of their company this year by making the world's largest ugly Christmas sweater. You might remember that Nick and Evan, who are here behind me, made a deal on Shark Tank about 9 years ago with Robert Herjavec. It became one of the most successful Shark Tank deals to date.
The company has expanded from ugly sweaters to Halloween attire and everything in between. And with all that inventory, finding a spot to store the world's largest ugly Christmas sweater isn't easy.
Most of us will just put our ugly sweaters in the back of a closet at the end of the season. Well, the cool thing that Tipsy Elves is doing is they're donating the sweater to the San Diego Craft Collective, which means it's going to be repurposed, used for crafts and fabrics for the community. So it will be upcycled and it will not end up in a landfill, which is a win for everybody.
A good plan, unless I bring the big sweater home with me.
I've always wondered what it felt like to be a wristwatch, so I'll be in the sleeve if anybody needs me.
Will Gans, ABC News, New York.
He's the cutest. I love Will.
He is.
Did he say how many regular-sized sweaters you could make out of that?
I don't think so.
Perhaps we'll find out.
Yeah.
This Christmas Eve, a new holiday tradition begins.
Yep, ABC and Hulu are teaming up to track Santa on his journey around the world. Our special tracking Santa technology makes it feel like you're actually riding along in Santa's sleigh. And I mean, this is the closest you can get to Santa without actually being one of the reindeer. ABC News team is joining the local stations across the country to report from the scene of Santa sightings. And that will include me, Val Warner, Greg Dutra, Ryan Cheverini. You'll also get Christmas music and Christmas trivia. So don't miss it. Tracking Santa, a Hulu ABC holiday special this Christmas Eve, 5 p.m. only on Hulu.
You guys should assign yourselves reindeer names. Like you could be Dancer.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ryan would call himself Dasher.
Yeah.
I don't know, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Move over butter boards. Butter candles are the latest holiday trend. Oh, Lord. Butter candles have been around for a while, but they've been given a new life thanks to TikTok's current fascination with putting butter on display. Butter candles have been a thing for a while?
Wow.
But wait, 2021, where was I? Clearly, come on, y'all.
Oh.
This is dumb.
It would just make me hungry. I don't need anything else that's going to make me hungry.
Anybody who bakes knows that room temperature butter is just a pile of mush. Like this butter that this person is working with is nearly frozen, and you know it's not going to stay that way.
Nope. Hang tight. We're back with more news in 90 seconds.
I hope it's better than this.
All right, let's go outside this morning and see what's going on. We know it's cold. That's the deal today, teens in single digits. The action, though, in terms of the snowstorm is not today, it's tomorrow. And Tracy, I know you're watching that, and you've got all kinds of times for watches and that kind of thing, too.
Yeah, I sure do. We do have a winter storm watch, and that goes into effect tomorrow, not today, and here is why. So we'll probably by this time start to see some flurries, a few light snow showers in the area, but as we get into tomorrow afternoon, that snow is going to increase, the temperatures are going to be falling, the wind speeds are going to be picking up. As far as accumulating snow, it's conceivable we could be done with that, at least on the Illinois side, by tomorrow night at midnight, but continuing over in northern Indiana. One model still going about 2 to 4 inches of accumulation, a second model going more than that. I think we're going to come in between 2 and 6 inches of accumulation around the area, but higher amounts, especially in that Indiana-Michigan corridor. Terrell and Tanya.
All righty, Tracy, thank you. And that's going to do it for the news at 7 this morning. Tanya's going to have a news update. And of course, Tracy and Jeremy will have you covered during Good Morning America.
And we'll hear from them in just a moment. From everyone here at ABC 7, have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock.